Would you please explain the basis upon which the canon was established, the group of books that we now call the Bible? He says, how do we know that an uninspired document was not included, or that inspired documents were not omitted from what we call the canon?
I have the same question from another viewer here. So
it's kind of interesting that many people think that somewhere in some dark, smoky room, people determined what the canon of Scripture would be. In truth, we do not determine the canon as men. That is determined by God. It is only discovered by men on basis of certain principles. Canon means measuring rod or rule. There are some rules by which you establish what is part of inspired biblical literature and what is not. And by the way, this doesn't take an expert. If you read, for example, the Gospel of Thomas and compare it to the Synoptic Gospels, you find out that it simply does not stand in the same genre as what you find in Scripture, that you have all kinds of sayings which could not have come from the lips of the disciples or of Jesus Christ. For example, Mary is not going to be able to be permitted into heaven until she's remade as a man. A very sexist kind of theology, which today seems to be exonerated by the Jesus Seminar, but certainly not by people who are credible scholars and look at the evidence. So the point here is that the canon is discovered by men, determined by God on the basis of principles. They are, for example, the prophetic principle. A prophet speaking for the Lord's word is on his tongue. The pronouncement principle, thus saith the Lord. The patristic principle, it was used by the early church fathers, the principle of what's called perspicuity, that the Bible is clear and consistent in the doctrines that it teaches, and then, of course, the power principle, that these words are not dead and dull, but they're alive and dynamic. They have the power to change lives, and again, there's internal harmony among the books themselves.